Hi, folks. Nick Tockard here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Before we get rolling, let's thank our sponsors, chiefly The Simple Sword and The Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon. The Simple Sword is a series of books starting with The Simple Sword, going through The Fighting Axe, and more to come that teaches you, the person who wants to learn how to sword fight, how to be your own hero, the basics of historical sword fighting in simple English with folks. I don't talk about this enough, but with stick figures, because this should be something anybody could learn at a reasonable price. And that's what we're about here, building folks up in a way they can afford it. It's also made possible by my amazing Patreon supporters, who you could join their number for as low as $1 a month. You help me provide free instruction not only to you, but to individuals in my area who, once the spring kicks up, I can just teach them how to sword fight. And I don't charge them. I don't charge anybody I teach instruction unless I'm driving way out. So we've already got some folks in the chat. I've got a lot I want to talk about. Some good, some bad, some kind of surprising. And we're going to go right down the line. We're opening up with we've got Thesis. Good evening, Thesis. And we've got the lovely Foxy hopping on in down the bunny trail right into our happy little neck of the internet. Hi, guys. How are you? Are you drilling? I hound people. You are. What's like to know me? So, you drilling? You doing your drills? You training? How's that going for you? This is important. Now, I'm going to get into some. I know current events, and I was a little hi. Oh, we're joined by Cindy Kep, the amazing author. God, she does crochet these wonderful animals. I need to bring my manatee in here, but my manatee lives in the living room. But Cindy Kep does amazing things. She's involved with the comic based on her novels. Oh gosh. Go to www.ckoepp.com. And Frog G, like Cindy Kep and Frog G, are powerhouses in promotion. They help little guys like yours truly get the message out where we can do some good. So I'm getting some answers for my earlier question. Much as the body lets us. Thesis, yeah, that's true. Thesis had a spill on the ice. And we're going to talk about what bodies let us and how we progress. Let's see what's Thesis. I'll be doing more training, but I did. Yeah, and you know what? That we have to talk progress, setbacks, and build-ups, and being responsible. Cindy Kep says, I'll feel better. And I don't know if she's referring to them or our dear friend Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is just a fundamental artist. Follow him on Twitter. My gosh. Today was like garlic tea brewed in holy water. If you know me, well, hello there, General Kenobi. But hey, awesome progress. Awesome. No, working your way through. For me today was a much delayed checkup. And I'll put that up there and I'll bring it down. So we'll start with my update. I got my final standard occupational therapy visit. They're not, unless I need something new, they're not going to be having me come out to assess my progress because I progressed that well. It's been several months of very, very hard, surprisingly painful work to get to the levels I'm at. And I got something that's a huge deal to me. And it's in this bag. And I have to explain it. It is this little guy. And what this little guy is my new addendum to my homework. I have to squeeze it and let go in a pinch and in a punch grip. And I have to do this 10 times twice a week, twice a day, assuming I'm up to it. This is the first time. When I first started this, they told me there's to basically give up on thinking I would get any functioning grip back. And for people who've been here, yes, I teach sword fighting. I developed peripheral neuropathy. I lost my ability to hold objects that weigh terribly much. If you watch the videos, you'll see increasingly I was dropping my sword. Go for a parry and the sword just flies out of my hand. And that was because the nerves stopped working in my hands. But I've been doing exercises to glide the nerves to work on the neuropathy. I have carpal and cubital. So I basically have what you know of carpal tunnel. It's for both sets of nerves into my hands. And that means I get to do this, though. This means very slowly and very carefully. And believe it or not, there's a lot of pain for me to do something as simple as squeeze the sponge. But that's hope. Can we? You know what? If you want to, Johnny wants to call the squeezy thing booby. And I actually have to stop excessively doing that because I have to really go easy on there. I went for a period where I stopped drawing because I couldn't hold the pen up. So that, while very minor to a lot of people, is, for me, it's huge because it went from adapting to hoping to get back where I can do a bit more. And my goal is to, by the time it's warm enough to have people over safely, it's dried out a bit, to host practices and be able to participate somehow. Now, I do have an old student of mine that's come seeking instruction. So I will be back in the realm of dowel rod training for a while, very slowly, to build up to that. But everybody, if you guys want to call my squeezy block booby, that's okay. It does, fit my thing, my situation. And I got new straps for my braces for when I do have to wear them. I actually wore them too much today, so I have to give myself some time. But this is really good. This seems novel, but this means instead of being plateaued permanently like the therapist thought, I have a chance to build up. And that's what we're about. Adapting and building things up. And everybody likes that. And oh god, you guys are having fun in my chat already. And that's wonderful, because that's what we need. Now, I will brief downer. I'm fully aware of current events, and I was trying to think, how am I going to respond to this? And my job throughout COVID, because I've been doing this now for 3 years. We're starting season 3 of the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream. We're actually, this is the 8th episode in season 3. It was to be a place for my students and other people to find enthusiasm and hope and distraction and maybe some education. So I think that seems the right course to keep right on plugging, because I think that's the best I can do to help anybody, at least for now. So, I don't really get into religion and stuff, but I am praying heavily for peace. I hope you all, whatever way you do so to support and hope for a peaceful resolution and an end to hostilities. That being said, guys, life has been pretty good. I was going to show off the Nerf gun my wife got me, but I won't be able to because it's not in the room. That's okay. So I have a new Nerf gun for amusement, but more importantly, and let's get into that, I think we need that. I got, let me not dox myself, a box. Look at this. It came while I was at the doctor, and it's light enough I can hold it. So I don't know what this is, I'll be honest. So I'm opening it slightly off camera just to make sure that it's safe. Eagle Claw trainers are great, but I'm at the point where the doctors don't even want me using standard stress balls because I just hurt myself. It was very strange to have a therapist say, "No, you are not to attempt push-ups under any circumstances because that would destroy." Their words, medically destroy your hands. So my world has been a little different of late. Pizza and stream night. Oh yeah. I actually had a delightful roast beef sandwich. Hey, you know what? I love boxes. I love storing things. Let me just get this out of the way. Well, I ordered a lightsaber on Amazon. This is what they sent me. Yes, Foxy. The Eagle Claw trainer is the squeezy thing. And yes, they did send me a box, Johnny. But okay. They sent me a lightsaber. Not the Reed lightsaber. Fun size. Oh yeah, I know. I'm all for this. I'm just kind of interested. It's kind of stuck. Here we go. I don't want to have my wife help me get the lightsaber out. Whoa, charge cable. Charge cable down. Hold on. Ah! Proprietary end. Not bueno. But let's see what we got. Oh. Okay. It's a Nick scale lightsaber. It's a little Yoda length, dude. I'm for this. I'm not going to complain about this. We got a nice full. Oh. Whoa. Oh. It hums. So let's go through the. Oh, sorry, Cindy. Not trying to flash too much. I didn't expect it to come charged. So, okay, it just dims out. I'm okay with. Now, why would I be okay with this length? That's getting heavy today. Why would I be okay with that? I love this thing. No, the reason I said flashing is Cindy and some of my viewers are epileptic and can be affected by flashing lights. So I don't want to do any excessively grand motions, but I want to see the different colors. So I'll do it very, very slowly. We have red, green, which is not blue, and I don't know, it's not really showing up on camera very well, is it? 1 second, let me try something. Okay, blue, yellow, which looks white on camera. You can almost see the color more in the background. That's interesting. So, white, blue, white. I like that. Oh god. Let me see if I can do this. Can you see how pink this is? This really is not showing up on my house camera. I have a different camera I'm going to try. But I also don't know how to turn that sound off. I didn't see instructions. But that's just a very pale white, light pink kind of color. And then, of course, red. So, what I'm going to need from you, dear friends, actually, I really like this little short length. It's a 24-inch lightsaber. I can do my show by lightsaber. That is awesome. It's supposedly a sparring handle and sparring length blade, and I can order longer blades, so I could switch this around. Let's up the lighting in here. It's getting a little moody. But it has been requested that I do lightsaber stuff, so I will do that. But I'm excited, y'all. I mean, green, bluish, yellow, blue, white, pink, purple, and then just like very white, and then red. Okay, cool. Now, if I hold it down, it turns off and just fades out. That is okay. It's threaded so that I think this could be rigged in a double configuration or something else, because I see. Oh, that's just the speaker. I don't know why it's threaded down there. That's interesting. I will have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of geeked out. This is not bad. And given my grip issues, this is very, very light. I obviously need to check and see if there's a charge handle. I may have to order an offhand, secondary full-length one, but I'm a dual wielder anyway. And this is, I love this. This is actually a reasonable grip. I'll put the link up on the Facebook public group, because this was only like $40, which is about. Okay, let's go. I have to. You'll poke your eye out. Don't touch the blade. That thing is loaded. You got treacherous. I know, that's being silly. Looks like a lamp in yellow. It does. Nerdgasm! Oh yeah, I've been meaning to get a lightsaber of some notion, and I quite like this one all in all. The red. Yeah, red light. I do Sinister really well when I'm not trying to. Hey, you know what? Whatever floats your boat, Johnny. I don't judge. Just because I was in the business of dealing with the players who wanted to slay you, I kept bringing you back. Remember who was in your corner when Dis was doing what Dis does. They do sell dark sabers, and I was tempted, but this was about half the cost, and I could see why. And what's funny is this fits my definition of a short sword. And look at this. This is literally a perfect little lightsaber for me. It is a Yoda saber for a short guy. I think it's 24 inches, 24-inch blade. Well, let's see. Use my favorite ruler. This is a 16, a 17. So about 20-inch blade, 30 inches overall. I'd buy that. This is nice. I'm okay with this. Sometimes you just want to be the cryptid that runs around in the dark, wreaking havoc. It's fun. There is a moment. Although I wouldn't carry a lightsaber. Everyone knows I carry a lantern. Allegedly. Foxy, honestly, between the weight of this being incredibly light and the length, my first thought is if it holds up at all to be playing around with it and doesn't break. I think it ended up like $43 with shipping and handling. I'd have to check. I can check that. I will check that right now. I will use science and I will check that. Because, yes, fine. Stop that. Not you. My computer gets annoyed because I was charging my phone through the computer. But, bang. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to come in time to review it. I was going to talk about it and then do a shtick. But that's my job. Okay, Foxy, let me explain something to you. He says, not too bad. I'll let you test it out. That's that is a big part of what I do in this channel. Part of the reason I buy so many training swords, I'll give you a hint, I don't need them. I do not need more training swords. I make them, and I do tend to give some away, but I do it so that I can review them to see if they'd be good for you or not, and what's their pros and cons. I only recommend the stuff that's really I've used and I've worked with. But I've had James Robertson has been bugging me to get a lightsaber, in part as a safety issue, because if I'm doing my drills with a lightsaber outside or somebody sees it, it's a lot less likely to cause a problem, and make, say, legal authorities uneasy than some of my trainers that can look a touch realistic, especially my fighting steel rapiers. They are blunt swords for a function. Johnny, you are truly a man of culture. That's hilarious. And I really don't care what anybody says. So I will do a video where I am swinging this about more dramatically, and we'll see how it goes. But for Cindy's sake and the sake of other epileptics, it needs to be separate so that I can really get a swing on with this thing, and we can talk. Because if they are of this weight and quality, basically, and I can get something like that, I may end up getting at least a second one. This is nice. This, guys, is the reward for completing my occupational therapy. Because the weight of this is, let me get to my orders so I can go here, and go here and see what they have to say about this. I cannot, it's, oh, okay, that's glitching. It was, wow, it really isn't. Let me try this. Oh, no, not support. I don't need support. This is an amazing little dude. It was $37.44. That before yeah, with tax was $37.44. So this is well within sub 40 is my baseline for a lot of my trainers. Now a lot of the lightsabers are twice or 3 or 4 times that. And I wasn't going to spend something, when I start looking at $100, I can outfit 3 fighters with decent trainers for $100. Real easy. I mean, but this is surprisingly nice, and like I said, it is about the weight of the flashlight, because the blade functionally has no weight, so I'd say less than $1. Less than $1. Maybe a pound. The 12 ounces. I mean, it's really in the ounces. I just, for my cell phone also has just been rendered obsolete, or will be in the next couple days. So I had to order a new phone because of it being a 3G only phone. So it's being squirrely. But yes, I will give a full breakdown of this guy and look it up. I was hoping there would be instructions. Oh, there they are. Yay! We have instructions. Oh, okay. And yes, you can order 2 of them and make your Darth Maul with a little adapter. But charging. Yep, it runs off of an old. You can't turn the sound off. This is an ultra basic. Recommended charging time is 3 to 4 hours. So this is just the charge, so you can see that it works, which is cool. I'll probably run it all the way dead, before I did. Let me see. I totally customized my. See, I've actually had to. I customized all my phone sounds too, and then I have to go back and change a bunch of them so that they don't come up as copyright music. For example, I mean, mind you, some of the music that's routed are bands that don't exist, but I'm not going to do that. Don't hurt yourself for a video. You know what? Thank you guys. I really do appreciate that you guys care enough that you'd rather have a safe nick than fun content. It's a good baseline for us. Yep, thank you. I usually make trainers for my students if I have the means. If they want a weapon I can't make, I will either do my best to find them or something that's cheap enough for them to use. And that's literally what I try to do. We just settled it. My company got bought out by Boost, and they're one of the few companies that has reception in my area. So I have to upgrade this, which means this camera will get devoted to being a phone only a filming camera. It won't be a phone. And the new camera I have, which should be much better, so that when I shoot my videos, if I shoot videos through it, it will actually be better than any of the cameras I already own. Hopefully. I would love to hear about your attempts at boffer rapier, because I've done a lot of boffer building. The only reason you don't have a boffer video is right now in Lafayette there aren't pool noodles to be purchased. All the ones they had got sold out for assorted crafts and things. So and that's the nearest large town to me, Lafayette, West Lafayette, and that's multiple hour-dom away. So, that genuinely, like, that hits me in the heart, and I really do appreciate you guys' kindness. It's so refreshing, because I've trained a lot of people, and I don't regret training anyone I've trained. But some have taken me for granted in the past to some fairly heavy extremes, and they've taken my generosity for granted. And some have hurt me over the years. That's why I have an X-ray that makes techs look very concerned and ask me, how many car wrecks have I been in? One person was convinced I was a hockey player because of my hand damage and my arm damage. But so yes, I'm excited. I really, if my hands get any better, I get to play with this a little bit. But if not, I will make a little hanger and I will put it up in my study as part of the rule of cool. And I will say this is shorter than I expected, but I can't complain. I still say this is about 30 inches overall. Because, let's see. I know how to check. Yep, 30 inches overall. This is a standard 36-inch stick, so this is 30. Hockey's cool. Oh, I don't use pool noodles because they're too thick. I just use regular pipe insulation. For quillions and handguards, I use thin tubing and pipe cleaners. It was ugly and didn't stay together. There are ways to bend PVC to get some basic shapes. I've done cross paces. I have done layered pipe insulation. So you do one, and then you use an adhesive. I use something called Woodwell. I'll put it this way. When people first meet me, I hear that a lot. You're shorter than I expected. Because I have a big personality in a little dude. But I'm round, so it's okay. But, there's no irritation there. No, I will talk about how I make more advanced boffers. I've done commissions some limited Plastidip style ones. But that requires a big space. That requires above freezing ventilation, and some of the tools can be a little dubious. I haven't used power tools since my hand troubles began. So it's been about 3 years since I've reliably used power tools for any length of time. I'm finally getting to the point where I feel comfortable using something too. Dolly Parton was my first crush at 2 years old. Dolly Parton and Elvira. I know what I'm about, folks. Me and Ron Swanson, we know what we're about. But yeah, so I'm dorking out because this is actually about the length of the cheap Wally World lightsabers. I don't know how many videos of those survived, but Live Guildies knew I would get the $2 lightsabers from there. And I said I'd get myself one of the fancy ones. And gosh, if they didn't make a fancy one that's Nick's scale. Kind of love it, guys. Kind of love it. So I'm really looking forward for it. It happens. It happens. But you know what? Don't compare yourself to somebody else. Just enjoy. Enjoy your awesomeness, both aesthetically and attitude-wise. So I have to put this down so that I can think, because ask any guy, it's hard for him to think with a lightsaber in his hand. Although, I will tell you this, the point of balance, let's see if I can get it, is just inside the hilt. So that tells you this is obscenely agile. Nothing wrong with Velma from Scooby-Doo, nor April O'Neil. I'm glad. You should feel good about yourself. Now, alrighty, we talked about that. And I didn't expect it to start so all these odd bubbling, yay, life is good, something awesome happened, just completely crosswired my mood today. So this is really awesome. We talked about Booby the Squeezy Square. Booby the Squeezy Square. Yeah, that's a thing. Minecraft Uncensored. Anyway. You really are in just let's see how much of Nick's mind we can mess with today. And I'm all for it. Alrighty. Now, getting back onto topic, and this actually reminds me. I wanted to ask, has anyone seen the new Cyrano yet? I probably won't see it till it hits streaming, or the library gets it as a DVD. It's Booby the Squeezy Square. Anyhow. Rey Mysterio for life. I love Rey Mysterio. He was amazing. But yeah, I watched wrestling too. That being said, I am very, very excited to see the fight choreography in Cyrano. I caught a couple glimpses during the preview, and the idea that Peter Dinklage is going to not just be capable of demonstrate as capable of combat like he was in Game of Thrones, but actually the star of the show, as a gentleman of his size, being depicted as efficient, as effective. This, folks, is delightful. I am here for that. Now, I love the classical black and white Cyrano. I think it came out in the 40s or early 50s. Beautiful, beautiful production. He had the big, long, fake nose. But this is I'm excited for this. Oh wow! Okay, I'm sorry. We got a few comments that hit all at once, which actually called a comment done by Brian K. Morris. Follow Rising Tide publications and look at Brian K. Morris everywhere. The man is just a powerhouse of publishing and production and printed potent printables. But his son is wrestling. I'm all for that. Love Darby Allin then. I don't know who that is, but I probably will. And you need to get Sharpie and stylistically. We'll see. We'll see, because I have to carry this around. This has to be something when I visit places. So that might be more of a historical fencing guild in joke, folks. People who know Booby the Squeezy Square. I'm sorry. This is just delightful. And I know I am an adult, but I did not grow up. What's the point of being an adult if you can't be childish sometimes? And folks, I got handed a lightsaber by you guys. Most guys, I buy stuff with guild money to review it. When the Patreon money comes in, I pile it up and I either do what I'm going to do with it next, which is get better mics. I'm actually renovating my office. I have a new little camera that I bought. This is going like here. I'll show you something else that's going. This little guy, and yeah, this is how will be a mounted camera for different products. I have things that are really coming in the works. I just haven't been. It's like to clean out and move the boxes and move the things in my storage in my thing. I haven't been able to. So that I'm getting better and I'm able to work on things a bit more and build more and draw more and create more. And yes, I do art. Somebody asked me, do I really? If you go in the description, I have a lot of useful links. One of them is to my art page at deviantart.com/NickT. Do you realize how long I've been on DA so long? I could have had Nick straight. I could have not had to put anything on the end. But oh well, thank you. Okay, hold on. Wow, it did that thing where it glitched again. Okay, let's see. Dominic is like 2 times the size of his father. Oh, yeah, it is. But Razor, maybe BBS. Maybe what I might just do that. Head and shoulders taller than right. That's awesome. I know I'm getting off topic, but wrestling is a set of theatrical. The fights are staged, but the action is real. It's really somebody throwing somebody else, You can't fake gravity. So yes, yay for improving. Exactly. So I owed myself something, and I wanted to review. I had people going, well, review a combat saber, and I'm like, if I find one cheap enough that I feel if I say I like it, the people who watch my channel can afford it. And I mean, I don't think this is a heavy grade combat saber, but it's going to be fun to play with, and it's balanced remarkably well. Let me show you the grip. I mean, look at that. That is a nice little hilt. It's a little thick for my hand. If it were about 1/8 of an inch smaller diameter, I'd love it. But because that is the perfect grip for me because I have very small hands. Which is just problematic. I know, right? He can't put the thing down. Nope, I can't. His daughter was taller too. We're nearby. You guys are so sweet. What? That's adorable. And that hits me in the heart because my son is now about that much taller than me at 12. So, as his behavior improves and he matures, I hope to be able to teach him how to sword fight. And that's the reality of what I do and what you have to deal with when you're dealing with adapting. Sometimes to adapt, you have to say no. And that's a challenge. And it's hard, and sometimes it's even painful, but you have to adapt. And that's what we do, folks. Oh god, this has just been an amazing day. Now, what else is coming down the pipe? I am looking to review some lighter trainers. I am looking to review the basics again. Basically, I want to use me going over the basics. Oh, uh, thank you, some person. I actually do have the same condition in my legs, and additional some minor birth defects that aren't real obvious. But I kicking is not something I can really do. Much higher than about knee high if I were really pressed. That's why I walk with a cane, and I occasionally fight with a cane. But that's okay too. Thank you for the advice, because that's how you adapt. And that's part of what we're doing. So what I'm going to be doing is real soon. I'm looking at. I have a couple sites to. Thank you, Foxy. Where if my home site doesn't work, I may start doing videos at there are a couple libraries in the area where I might be able to get the space and have better lighting, a little more room where I can do walkthroughs and really go back to the roots. And the reason for this is a lot of people want to see the basics. They want to see, how do you stand to fight? How do how do the blocks work? How do the parries work? How do you dual wield without it being presented as this is the esoteric secret art? Because it's not an esoteric secret art, okay? One of the great things about weapons-based martial arts are most weapons end up about 3 feet long. And as long as I'm body normative, so we ignore my ankles, my elbow bends exactly the same degrees as a warrior of the Ming Dynasty, as an 18th century fencing master, as a colonial Spaniard. It doesn't matter. The core mechanics work. So you can look at Spanish systems. You can look at Chinese systems. You can pick and splice and go, I like this from that. I like this from that. Whatever works. Oh, thank you. Yes, I love cane fighting. I also love sword fighting. Cane swords. There are a lot of. That's why I deal with adaptation, because I come with my own limitations and I've had to learn to work around them. It's why you won't see me lunge more than about once an arc, because there'll always be a point where I'm going to go, I'm going to show you what an Olympic lunge sort of looks like. Beyond that, I can't, you won't see me use them much in combat. Exactly. Elbows are elbows mostly. And I want to go back to the basics and really fall back into how to use a cane on a sliding scale of health, because I see a lot of people online who are like, I will teach you why the stick is the ultimate super tactical extreme system for destroying your enemies. Hoorah! It's like, most people who are carrying a cane are walking with a cane to help them move. Teaching, we're going to be way up here. We're going to do this. What are you doing, Jack? I'm sorry. That's not going to help the people who need it. So a sliding scale of how to move, ways you can use a cane with limited strength, limited ways to retain a cane are very important. Yep. Adapting it, living. If you don't adapt, you don't live. I think you'll learn how to beat someone up with a mere flick of your finger. Learning is a subtle art. I'm crippled. I can't. Yeah. Well, I will say one of my favorite videos I ever saw. I've shared it on the Historical Fencing Guild's public group, which is on Facebook. Anyone can join and talk to not just me, but a lot of the people here. Is basically, I believe the guy called it verbal jujitsu. And he was talking, he's like, okay, say to me, what you looking at? What you looking at? Your shirt. That's a great shirt. Where'd you get that? Can I get you a drink? Because, if you hit somebody and you accidentally kill them, you could go to jail for 6 years for the rest of your life, whatever, just because you had to stop something. Hard point goes on the other dude's head. Yeah. But I want to go back in. I want to go back to simple shield work. I want to go back to simple spear work, axe stuff. A lot of this is just on the cusp of what I can do if I keep this line. And so I really appreciate you guys' patience and the support, because I save up and then I get stuff and then we do amazing things with it and people learn with it, or you go, this is not a product to buy. And if I can buy a product and go, don't buy this, and tell people why, and that has happened a couple times. The Cold Steel Axe Gang Axe Trainer is the greatest disappointment I think I've ever purchased as somebody buying weapons to train with. That broke my heart because the heft was right, the grip was great, it felt right, and then it didn't. The plastic was too soft, so it would take a ding and leave sharp edges and actually cut my cameraman, because I had a cameraman at one point. Having to go back to basics because of teaching is making me exactly. And I will teach you my way. This may shock you, someone who teaches stuff online, as I'm not going to say this is the only way to do it, because that's a lie. But I will teach you a basic approach and recommend. Guy Windsor has a bunch of stuff. Amazing stuff. There's Tom Leone did my favorite translation of The Soleil, or Fundamentals of Rapier Fighting by Nicola Gigante. That is my favorite historical manual. You can find treatises on Fabris. If you have some money, Maestro Ramirez's work with La Verdad Destreza, and I know I said that wrong. I'm not going to try to grab my speech impediment tonight. It has been a massive run last couple days. I started a new morning show with Luke Stone on, I want to say it's the Ragin Network. I'm not even sure. Luke said, hey, you want to co-host a show with me? Sure. So I'm doing that on Thursday mornings now. I do a volunteer program. At this point, I'm running D&D for some kids at a local library on Thursday nights. And now I'm doing this on Friday nights. I'm starting to get me back. And that a big part of me is service. So, yes. I've learned so much more from teaching. I've learned so much more from failing. I can't really express just how incredible this journey has been. And as I'm climbing back out of a hole I've been in for nearly 3 years. I was in a place where I couldn't walk without 2 crutches. I had to use crutches because my hands wouldn't hold canes. Couldn't drive, barely could prepare food for myself, and basic home stuff. And while I've been doing this, while I've been running this channel and trying to help people and demonstrating with assorted means how to make things go. And it's been such a pleasure because you are the most supportive group of people I've ever met online. This group here is amazing. Froggy says Nerd Bacon. Yeah, Nerd Bacon. I want to say it's on the Rage Network. Follow Luke Stone Studios on Facebook. He's my business partner. He's a dear friend. He's a pastor who came back from, I want to say 170 days, 130 days, something like that, in a coma because of COVID, and came back. Draws hybrids. He's an amazing individual with an amazing story, and that's who I like to surround myself with. I associate myself. I don't do groups. I do deal with individuals. I associate myself with people who try. I look for kindness, curiosity, and effort out of people. That's what attracts me. And I have met some of the most amazingly talented people. The people on this chat right now in fields overlapping what we are doing here, where we're talking about martial arts. Cindy Kep's doing amazing things with developing her fan work, and we have a similar background when we talk historical fencing. Thesis just is a wonderful Eastern practitioner. Foxy's his wife / girl / student. It's a wonderful situation there. We're all building each other up, and you guys help me be a better trainer. And I can't wait for these meat hooks to do what they need to do so that I can have people over and get back to working with the people I know who need the help. Because that's why I don't charge people. I know there is an individual, I won't say his name. He charges $180 an hour. An hour to teach rudimentary kendo style strikes. And that is so pervasive. Now, I'm not saying that martial arts instructors don't deserve pay. Everybody who does a job deserves pay. But my job right now, thankfully, is not financially that. Yeah, that's a lot of bucks. So some people can't learn from you, and they can't learn because Cindy Kep says, okay, hold on. I learned that there are people I can't teach, and that's not failure on my part. They may not be ready for you, or they may not need what you have to offer. Sometimes you'll find folks that can't learn from you. That's not down on them, and that's not down on you either. Learning is as much a skill as teaching, and when they come together, great things happen. I have done so informally. Usually how do I put this? People find me when they need me. It's the weirdest thing. Or I end up in a place, but I haven't had the facilities to do it where I could just open the door, because I've always trained from my own home or a park and then gone to my home. So I have to be a little more careful what I bring home, not for the people who are in those programs, but the aggressors who put them there. I have to be careful. And if that's cowardice, I'll take it, but I have to be careful. Yes, exactly, Ryan. Great to hear from you. But yes, there's a gentleman who goes to major conventions and apparently charges. I met one of his students, and he almost broke a rapier because he had no concept of calibration. And I worked with him for a while, and he's like, "You're not charging me." He's like, "I can't pay you. I don't have any money. I'm like, I didn't ask. My job's to help people. Now, if you want to volunteer to help, you can always Patreon, buy my book. If you learn something and you learn to teach and spread it, all the better." And exactly, I am both informal and I'm by choice. It's like it ties to people. Bear with me; it's a bit of a walk to get here. What Hogwarts house would you be in, Nick? What Hogwarts house would you be in? And if I take the test, it's like it would come up Ravenclaw, but I'm Hufflepuff by choice. Because my orientation is not even my strength, which is me being fairly sharp. And I'm certainly not power-oriented. I'm about helping people and being loyal. And if I have the line of being very smart or being very loyal, I will take loyal every time. A wise man once said, if you can't do something smart, do something good. And that's what I'd rather be. That's me. than people just sit and tell me things. Yeah, well, you learn. I charge cookies or brownies. I trade teaching for materials to make trainers once. I'm poor, but I can't ask money when people are simply helping find people. Yeah, yeah. I find the right people will help you back in ways uh you don't envision, you couldn't imagine. One thing I have found is karma's been amazingly good to me. I'm not wealthy, and I'll probably never be wealthy, but the good Lord and you know cause and effect seem to align to make sure that I usually make it. My family has food. I have an amazing, what I consider, my house feels like a palace to me. I love it. It needs work, but I love it. I'm living the American dream, and I can stay home without it being a terrible financial burden. Work with my son who's special needs in the middle of a pandemic. I can afford to do this with you guys, and because we make it, and what I make from the Patreon and what I make from my book sales goes back into the guild. Because right now that's what I have. That's the margins. Oh, that happens to me all the time. That happens to me all the time. People tell me their stories, and it's wonderful when you can do that for somebody. What's great is I have memory loss issues, so usually if somebody confides that sort of thing, I literally will forget it relatively quickly. Not maliciously, it's just there's no way for me to spill the secret if I don't remember. And I take that as an odd gift that makes me better at what I do. I've noticed something about popular YouTubers is that they have huge personality. You have that. Thank you, some person. Whatever you choose for your topic will eventually give you many subscriptions. Well, thank you. I do have 2 channels right now. I have this channel, and then I have the slightly neglected but coming back, the Nick Talkert channel, which is my art and creation channel. I love stop motion. Ray Harryhausen was very influential on me, and Bob Ross was very influential on me. So I do talk over sort of Bob Ross if he were a cartoonist kind of thing. And that's why I have this lovely whiteboard here, because some people really like to just see it in whiteboard, not digital. And that's really cool. Thank you. I mean, that's a real high pop. Well, and that's a different set of skills that are valuable too. Never, don't blame a sheepdog for having teeth, you know? Um, and it's funny because that happens, and I've associated with veterans my whole life. My father's a veteran, a combat veteran from Vietnam. Many of my relatives were. I was medically unable to serve, and I am very much a fat civilian against stolen valor. I believe in supporting veterans and respecting the tremendous sacrifice that they give. But I will tell you, some of the scariest dudes I've ever met. I mean, I've met bad mofos, the kind of guys who have professionally done some pretty horrific things, and some of them were smaller than I am. That book, judging a book by its cover, is a bad idea. So yeah, I see that both ways. But then again, I also did a whole lot of my formulative training sword-wise with John Miner, who's built like Hagrid, and a whole household of people roughly that size. Where I did it like the first time I had an opponent who was my height or shorter, it was a very weird situation, and it's real funny if you watch me fight back when I was healthy. I don't know what I'll be now, but in the glory days of the Republic, I'd be okay with them. But then like one guy who come up is 6 foot tall. I'm comfortable now. There's 3 of them. 2 swords. Let's do this. I know this. This is my game. I'm used to this. Which sounds crazy, but I'm crazy. I mean, I'm a Hawaiian shirt wearing goofball who tells you how to train swordsmanship with a couple dollar sticks because that might be all you can afford. And then I do it mostly for free. I'm nuts. I keep joking that one of these days, when it's on sale, I will be the big scary sale. And you know what? If you go to one of those, you will see that. That is a trope, my friend. And I've seen the reverse, which I find delightful. I've seen some truly intimidating women with rather small minor hippie boyfriends too, and same gender and unknown, and there may have been some run fairs. A certain satyr went walking about, and who knows? Maybe if my legs work back again, we'll see. But we are at 9 o'clock, and as much as I want to keep going, I know real soon I'll start to kind of tucker out, and I'm starting to feel it in my back. So thank you guys so much for this lovely hour. Very chatty this week, kind of informal. I'm totally to blame because yes. Anyway, great things are coming down the pipe. I do have some videos planned in the very near future. Because I went to the physical therapist, it'll be a couple days before my hands are more than noodles. But guys, be good to before we do that. If there's a link scrolling right now to my Patreon, if you can spare $1 a month, I do a weekly blog. You get to vote on what I talk about. I take suggestions from Patreon, like my customers. You guys say it, I try to do it. And that's what helps me afford trainers that are low cost to say, hey, this is junk or this is good. Also, buy my book, please. I keep it as cheap as Amazon will let me because there's color involved, so it's a little more expensive. And whoop, that was professional. Let me get rid of this. Whoop. The Fighting Axe is my foray into a new, even less expensive, lighter view on specific weapons. Read them. Give me honest reviews so I know what you like, what you don't like, so that when I do the new editions for things and the expanded things that I'm planning, as my ability to type returns, let me know. I'm going to just set that down. And consider buying those on Amazon. I've donated quite a few to libraries. This is what we're about. We're about helping each other and helping me help others. So I really appreciate it. Be good to each other, okay? Be kind to yourselves. Keep your guard up. And as always, folks, thank you for supporting your local swordmaster.